This is R2D Tech and we're back again with another video today, this time about the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, so stay tuned. So there was a lot of excitement surrounding the release of this year's iPhones because it was expected that a lot of changes were going to be made, and in all honesty we didn't get a lot of those changes, which is a little bit disappointing. However, they have made some noticeable improvements and added one new big feature which we'll definitely talk about later. So let's see what these phones have to offer. Now, in terms of design, the most obvious change is that Apple have flattened the sides of the phone. So you now get flat sides, basically like you got on the iPhone 4s and the iPhone 5s. Now, I'm not sure that this is much of an improvement in terms of design, but a lot of people do seem to like it. So I guess it's a personal choice. Now, the sides will be made out of stainless steel, which should give it a nice durable and also quite a heavy feel to it, which in my opinion is a good thing. However, stainless steel does seem to scratch easily, so you might want to get a case if you get the phone. Now, the front and back of the phone are going to be made out of Gorilla Glass, which should give it a good durability. However, Apple have also claimed that they've added a sapphire coating on the display, which should make it more drop resistant. However, a lot of people are claiming that their displays are scratching really easily, so I'm not sure if it's going to provide that much protection in that regard. So you might also want to get a screen protector with this phone. The 12 Pro is also IP68 water and dust resistance, which is a good thing. That's the same rating that the iPhones had last year, so it hasn't changed. Now, in terms of colors, there are 4 to choose from: either graphite, Pacific blue, silver, or gold. So in my opinion, the best is the Pacific blue. It just looks really nice. Other than that, nothing much else has been changed to the exterior design of the phone, so it's a little bit disappointing in my opinion. However, there have been some good changes elsewhere, so we'll definitely look at those. Now, for the displays, on the 12 Pro you're getting a 6.1 inch display, and on the Pro Max a 6.7 inch display. Both displays do have pixel densities of 460 pixels per inch, which is pretty sharp nowadays, so they're both really great displays to have. Both of them do also reach 1200 nits peak brightness, which is absolutely crazy. Most laptops have displays that will only reach 300 nits, so it is a pretty crazy brightness to have on a phone. You're definitely going to have no trouble when looking at the screen outside. Unfortunately, both displays do still have the same size notch, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have hoped they would have at least had a hole punch cutout by now for the selfie cameras and their sensors. However, they haven't done it this year. Hopefully we'll see that next year. Now, in terms of the specs, firstly, both phones do come with the new A14 Bionic chip, which is their first 5nm chip. And as usual, you're going to be getting a pretty significant bump in performance. However, I imagine that most people won't even see that bump in performance unless they're using like really intensive apps like video editing or gaming, which most people don't do on a phone anyway. So I don't think that many people will be making use of that bump in performance, but it is still nice to have. All the options do come with 6 GB of RAM, and you can choose from between 128, 256 and 512 GB of storage, which are all great options, but I think 512 gigs is kind of overkill anyway. Then for the batteries, on the 12 Pro you're going to be getting a 2815 mAh battery, which in my opinion is pretty tiny nowadays for a flagship phone. I would have expected a much larger battery. Hopefully that doesn't impact the battery life of this phone. On the 12 Pro Max, you are getting a larger battery at 3617 milliamp hours. However, for such a big phone with such a large display, that is still pretty small in comparison to many other phones out there. What's more is both phones are 5G enabled, and if you are using 5G coverage, then that battery life is going to decrease further. So it will be interesting to see how the battery life compares to other phones out there. Now, talking about that 5G, it is going to be an important factor in the future. However, right now, so few places are covered by 5G that it's basically useless in most areas. If you do have 5G coverage in your area, then that's great. However, most people don't right now. So I would say that you shouldn't buy this phone if you just want 5G coverage on an iPhone, because it's not going to be very useful right now. For cameras on this phone, all the rear cameras are 12 megapixels, and you're going to be getting a wide telephoto and ultra wide lens, as well as a LiDAR sensor, which will help with things like depth detection and portrait mode. Now, the new iPhones seem to produce some of the best photos on any phone, competing with the Pixel 5. However, in my opinion, the difference between photos on flagship phones right now is very small. So if you're choosing between the Pixel 5 and the iPhone for photos, then you might want to look at other factors as well, because they are just really similar and they have amazing quality. For the selfie camera, you are just getting the 12 megapixel wide lens, which is pretty standard. Now, these iPhones will be the first that will be running iOS 14 out of the box, and iOS 14 is a massive improvement over the previous generations, giving you a lot more freedom in terms of customization with widgets, and having an app drawer at the end, which is, in my opinion, one of the best features on Android. Obviously, a lot of those features are copied from Android, and Android is my preferred operating system. However, if iOS is taking some of the ideas from Android, then I'm definitely not complaining, because they are great features to have on the iPhone. By far, the most talked about new feature of these iPhones was with MagSafe. Basically, there is an array of magnets on the inside at the back of these phones, which can connect to an array of accessories if you want to connect a mini wallet to your phone, or if you want to charge the phone with Apple's magnetic charging puck, you can. So I think it's an idea with some really great potential, and it's going to be exciting to see what third-party developers come up with in terms of accessories. However, there is one big flaw, and that's that the magnets don't seem to be very strong. There are videos of people sticking wallets onto the back of their phones, and the wallets just seem to come off really easily. And if there's one thing that you want to be really secure, it's definitely your wallet. Now, it's a bit surprising that Apple didn't think about this. It is a pretty big flaw in my opinion, because it does make it a lot more difficult to create a number of different accessories. However, there is always the potential for another developer to create a case with stronger magnets on the back that then other accessories can connect to. So there is a way around it, but it is just a bit weird that it wasn't in the design at first. Now, unfortunately, these phones are still going to be charging through a Lightning port instead of a USB-C port, or you can charge it through that magnetic charging puck on the back. However, I was really disappointed that Apple didn't go for USB-C this year on their iPhones, because they've done it on basically all their other products, so it was a little bit surprising. Hopefully we will see it next year. Another controversial topic was that Apple are not providing the charging brick in the box of the phones this year. All you're getting is the phone and a Lightning to USB-C cable. Now, Apple claims they did this to be environmentally friendly. However, it is a little bit convenient that they're also saving a lot of money by not having to provide the charging brick in the box and charging full price for it in their stores. I would have thought a better way to do it is that if you bought the iPhone on the day, you could also claim a free charging brick if you needed one, or if you didn't and had one at home, then you just wouldn't claim it. However, that's not a good way to make money, and from Apple's perspective, that's probably what they were thinking. So it does seem a little bit sneaky to me. Now, the iPhone 12 Pro is going to come in at £999 and the Pro Max will be £1,099. So these are incredibly expensive phones. That's nothing new from Apple. However, I think the regular iPhone 12 is a much better deal. While you might be dropping some build quality and one camera for £300 less, I think it's definitely worth it. If you want to go for the iPhone 12 mini, that's even cheaper, and I think that will be a really incredible phone as well. However, if you really think you'll make use of those extra features that you do get with the Pro models, then I guess that's up to you. That's it from this video. If you liked it, please press the thumbs up button. If you loved it, please consider subscribing.